Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Oralos' Flight School. I know I have kind of slacked on uploading some of those videos on the pattern and flight and all that, but I really want to do VORs, VORs, and some radials. Uh, I've just learned them in real life, and so I kind of want to go over them with you guys. They're pretty simple once you get it, but it's hard to kind of like grasp it, if that makes sense. They're pretty simple overall, but as you can see, I have my iPad here. It's a little laggy just because I'm using a free software. But we're out here at Fort Collins, Loveland in Colorado. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take off, which I can draw here. So I'm going to do the thickness to like 5. We're going to take off this way. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to Greeley, to the Gill VOR. You can see this right here. That's a VOR marker. This is a VFR sectional. If you wanted to see what it looked like on the instrument, here's IFR low. So if you're using like Navigraph charts, they don't have VFR charts, but they do have these. I believe on, let's see, I haven't looked at the high ones, so you see it, but they don't have the uh, same level of detail. But you can see there's your VOR. So we're gonna go just to the low. I'm actually just gonna use the VFR chart, or will I? I'll do the low because it's easier to see, less condensed. But so we're gonna head over to the Gill VOR. So we're gonna take off, then just go straight over. But I'll just do this. But through this, instead of just going on this straight radial, which this is a radial, we're gonna try and go like up here and come in. So we're gonna come into the VOR at let's do 120. So we'll do radial 120 degrees. So when we're up in the air, you'll see why it's important to keep that in mind of the 120, because I'll also just say it now. Um, Radials extend outward, so 120, if we're going on a heading, this is going to be heading uh, like this might be heading 120. Actually, the radial is gonna, I can't do 120. I'm gonna go back really quick. This will do radial like 300. 300. Okay, so radial 300. This is heading like 120, right? But this is the radial 300 because this radial is extending out this way. So even though we're going to be going in the opposite direction, it's because we're going to it. So let me just delete this arrow really quick. I'll just do like a small 300 right there. Okay. So there's our 300. And we're back in the 152 Aerobat, which I can toggle that on and off. So first thing actually we want to do before we even leave, right? This is important. Let me pull up ForeFlight here for you. So you'll see over here in this information that it's 114.2. So we want to go to our nav. So these are COM 1, COM 2, and then our nav 1, nav 2. I was going to see if it would tell you which one's 1 and 2. The one on top is usually 1. I've never seen a plane that isn't like that. It's on test. Let's go to altitude reporting. So first things first, we'll use nav 1, which is this. Nav 2 is here, but this is your HSI, so your VOR radials. So we are going to take off. What is our frequency? 1. Oh, I realized I had ForeFlight up, so you can't even see. Let me do that. So here's HSI 1, HSI 2, com 1, com 2, nav 1, nav 2. So 114.2, as you can see there. So we're going to put 114.2. Make it active. You'll see it says use. And then the big thing is if you want to identify them, which I don't know how to read Morse code, I'll say that now. You're supposed to use Morse code, is we can pop on our nav1. And if we get, it'll probably pop up when we get in the air. You also might have to pull that out. Hit identify. Ugh, such a pain, but basically now you can see on the ForeFlight the little Morse code right there. So we would hear Morse code, or we might still hear Morse code. I don't know. We'll see. Volume. Decrease comm volume. It's in op. So what does that do? Okay, I think it's all in op. But we're going to take off. And maybe we will hear it. And once we, remember, we're going to get up. And then we're just going to continue along this path, actually. I don't know why. I'm like on the other screen trying to point you. We're just going to continue along this path. And then about here, which on ForeFlight I'll be able to track that. I'm going to put in that radial, and it will help us intercept the radial. And we'll go over it then. But, okay, so let's go ahead and take off. So, parking brake off. Let me just turn on head tracking here. Hold pad over here.
Approaching runway 33.
Oh boy. There you go. There is what ForeFlight.
Entered runway 33. 8,400 feet remaining.
What ForeFlight will do for you. It's great for real life flying. I don't know what the free version does and doesn't do because I don't have the free version. I have the paid version. I like it. I would say it's worth it personally, but not everyone does. Okay, so I'm going to turn ForeFlight off. We're just going to take off full power. I'm going to also do my barometric pressure. And airspeed's just barely coming alive. Boy, you have to have a lot of rudder. Okay, we're getting up there. Now we're just going to maintain runway heading. Oh, there you go. You can try. Let's see if the sound works. Yep. Can you guys hear that? That little noise is our that is the beacon. So now I can I'm just gonna click that actually. Turn off nav1 because I don't want to hear it anymore. Hello? Just turn that down all the way. Okay, so we're gonna just keep on this heading. I'm gonna have to add a little bit of trim. Keep our trim good so that we can gain some speed. Okay, so big thing here is you'll see, let's just try this. This is an MO pilot. I totally didn't even think about that. I love how I was talking about how I don't want to break it, but there is no autopilot for this plane. So, the big thing here, which I have active pause, I'm using normal pause, but you'll see it says 2. It's right here. It says 2. So that means we're going towards the beacon. If it says, I just dropped my phone, if it changes to from, it means the beacon's behind us. 2 is in front, and that's also with the little arrow, the caret. So, now we are gonna want to go, if I pull up for flight again, we are not there yet. Well, we can do it from here. It's fine. It's no big deal. We are going to, I'm gonna real quick stop that. Now we're gonna turn to intercept the radial. The example that was talked to, that I was told, is if you, do I have like an eraser? I think it's just back. But if you, let's say this is a freeway, right? And you're right here, how you would get on an on-ramp to merge. This section right here, that on-ramp, is what we are doing when we shoot the heading. I'm blanking on the word. The intercept heading, when we hit an intercept heading. So, we are going to try and get on the 300 radial. So, I'm going to hide for flight again real quick. I'm not going to be able to do active pause at all because it's going to, our heading indicator starts to drift, which is really unfortunate. So I'm just going to have to try and do this. So 300. So what we want to do is, because remember how I said it's the opposite, because even though my heading, the radial shoots out, so we're going to put our tail at 300. So I actually might be able to do like AI flies the aircraft. Let's do that. AI control. Control aircraft. And then just like, I don't know, don't crash us? Maybe that's too much to ask. That definitely didn't work. It's because we don't have a destination. That's frustrating. Okay. Yeah, because my VFR map, if I go to the map, we don't have a destination because we don't have a GPS. But okay, so we're gonna go tail. Oh, so this little arrow is gonna go to 300. So let's get it to 300. I don't care if I gain altitude here as long as we don't fall out of the sky. Keeps going past it. Okay, 300. So there's our tail, 300. That means now we're gonna be on a heading of 120 at the end, but we want to basically, this is telling us we're gonna turn left to intercept it, and if it was to the right we would turn right, but we want to figure out an intercept heading. We're actually gonna turn to the right even though that says left, because our current heading is 300 now. We're gonna try and get to heading of 120. We're essentially going in the complete opposite direction of this radial, but we are to the right of the VOR, which is true. So we're gonna do 45 degrees, which this one also doesn't have a marker, but let's see, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. So that is 165. So we're going to go to a heading of 165. so that we can intercept the radial, the 300 radial. I'm going to pop up ForeFlight while I do this just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You see now we're turning right. We're turning to the right. And when I see movement, I'm going to hit the delete key so you guys can see the HSI start to move. The other thing that I'm really confused about is it says nav, which should say, I don't know about the 152, but the other planes you want it to be in VLOC mode. Yeah, I think that's an issue here. Let me see if I can, let me do a pause really quick, see if I can find a way. I don't really Okay, welcome back, guys. I messed that up. I'm dumb. But basically, with it set up like this, to intersect the 300 radial, I'll pop up ForeFlight 2. You see, we barely did anything, but we're heading towards the VOR now. I had a brain fart and did it wrong. But basically, we are going to figure out a 45-degree heading. So to intersect this radial, I'm actually going to turn to the left to heading 600 or 060, because you'll notice it's roughly 45 degrees. I'm not going to count that out, but 45 degrees works a lot. That's the kind of give the magic number, but you can really do any degree heading if you want to intercept it. But I'm just going to turn towards 060. Okay, roughly 060. I'm going to pull the power a little bit. But you'll notice that the closer we get, I'll pop ForeFlight there, the closer we get to that line, which again, I don't know if it's exactly on that. I saw the 301, so I think that is 300. That compass rose, that radial will not be exactly the same as like your heading. So I might be going at a radial of 300 and I could be going heading, you know, not 300. Because you'll notice 350 up there out off of this VOR is a lot different than 360, or it's closer to 360 than the other one. So because the this line is 360, and part of that is because of the Earth's curvature. So if you it's called drift, I believe. I learned about it in ground school. I haven't really dealt with it a lot since I haven't done a lot of cross country. But basically, because the Earth isn't flat, it's a ball, you have to do different things. So if you want to go north to heading 360, you might actually be on a different heading because of where you are in America. That's like a more advanced thing. It's way easier with a GPS where it just automatically tunes for drift and things. But heading on, right now it says we're 66, which we pretty much are. So I'm gonna cut a lot of this out because it's just us flying in a straight line. I want to climb, or not really climb, I want to just stay wings level, or like straight and level. It's really touchy, but we'll make it. Okay, so I guess I can increase increase the throttle a little bit to the RPMs to about 22,000. There we go, about there, that's fine. So, now we're just going along. Probably going to cut part of this out because we are just going along until there's movement. Okay, so once this line gets to the center, so I'm just gonna go straight. We're very close. Then we're gonna turn to the right to heading 120. So we're probably close enough now, so let's just go to the right, 120. For a little bit to the left, that's fine. Heading 120. Oh boy, that was really violent. I didn't mean for it to be that violent. But you'll notice now it's in the center. So on ForeFlight, we're on the 301. I guess my digits are a little off, but that's fine. You know, 300, 301, it's going to be about the same. So the one that I have marked as 300 is probably not actually 300 as well. But now we're just going to keep it going. Keep it centered. So we can a little bit to the right. Go a little bit to the right. You'll notice it's getting closer, but we are going a little bit towards it. But if we just keep on this heading, let's just keep it at this. It should come back. Yep, there we go. Okay, we're going to go to 120. I'm just going to keep us on a heading of 120. It's close enough for me. And you'll notice that we're pretty much following that 301 line like almost exactly. And as we get closer and closer to the VOR, eventually that 2, and this is a great plane to practice in because you don't have a GPS. So other than the VFR map, which is, you know, a sim thing, in real life you wouldn't have anything, so you wouldn't know. So you're gonna come or a little bit to the left, which if I look, it's true. I'm just gonna keep us on 120. We're like within 5 miles of it now. But pretty much centered. as we just keep going. We're at 7,000 feet. Getting closer. On FS2020, you'll notice we're like pretty much right dead on it. So, up a little bit. Again, we don't really need a 10 altitude, but okay, going along. We're a little bit to the left. And it's not saying the left of the radial, it's saying the left of the beacon, the VOR itself, not the beacon, the VOR itself, which it looks like we are, because it's the center of the icon, which this one it looks like has DME as well. So I don't know how to do DME, to be honest. I won't claim to. But this one it looks like has DME as well. Maybe not. That could be a VOR-TAC. I think that's what this is. Let me click on it and find out. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted either. This is a VOR DME. Okay, so this one has distance measuring equipment. I don't know if our plane does, and I don't know how to do that. But this is a VOR DME. We are just about to pass over it. And I'm going to pause it when we pass over it because I want to point something out. Notice this little 2 flag is going, we are to the left of it. Oh boy, oh boy, okay. Trying to keep us centered here so we can see it. Pretty much right going through it. We're about to be left of it, so I'm gonna to the left. Okay. Pretty much going through the center of it, but you'll notice that little flag is gonna change. And it's gonna get harder. The closer you are, it's gonna get very, very sensitive. So now you can see it says we're to the left of it. We're like right over it. So it's no big deal. And then it's gonna flip here in a second. Waiting for it to flip. And there you go. You see it flipped. Now it says from. So let me pause it. If I open up FS2020, you'll notice we just passed over the beacon. So now we are, the beacon's behind us, which is why it says from. So now let's exit the VOR. I'm going to turn this, well, this is nice too with FS2020. You'll notice these numbers. So this is the 17 radial, which you can see it on the, they're printed as well, but it's nice to not have to like scour for it. So let's leave. Let's go on to the, let's just do something simple like the 136 radial or the 15 radial, because let's say we're going towards Denver. So 15 is right here. Pull up. Oh, that was bad. There we go. The 15 radial. That's what we want to go on to. So what we want to do now is, since we're going from, right, we're leaving, we do the opposite. So now, instead of the tail being the one we want to join, we want the nose, I just call this the nose and the tail, the nose is going to be the number we want. So we want the 150 radial. So I really wish pause worked better. So we're going to go to the 1-5 radial, and we're going to turn right. And it basically, because, let me pause really quick, because we are right over the VOR, we don't have to really do like a 45-degree angle to intercept or anything. You just turn to that heading, or turn to turn to where your HSI lines up. So let's unpause it really quick. I'm not even looking at my heading indicator right now. We are just going along. We're turning. But you'll notice on ForeFlight, we are passing 1-5 and we're not going, or it's not lining up because we haven't actually hit the radial yet. So I want to just go slowly. So I'm going to go to the south to 1, and you'll notice it's real coming in. It's going to be really sensitive because we're close. I'm going to do a steep turn to get us on to 1-5, boom, 150. Now you'll notice we are pretty much right on the radial. So now we're leaving the radial. So let's say it was like, ATC was like, follow the 1-5 radial 2 miles. So then we would go 2 miles, which right now we don't have distance measuring equipment on this aircraft, so they would probably just tell us follow that heading. I've personally never heard on VATSIM at least radials be used. I think most people don't know how to use them, so they just don't use them. But you'll notice we're heading right towards the 1-5 radial, exiting the GIL VOR. So up. We're a little bit to the left of it, so let's roll over to the left or the right, and you'll notice it's from. Still says from. Wonder. Let me try something. If I hit DME button, no. Okay. Now we're pretty much right on it, but even though we're right on it, we're about to be off because I didn't turn soon enough. So now you just want to keep 1-5, you know, and we're almost right on it, like basically right there. I was gonna see if you hit DME, if the other little flap, the up and down flap, worked. That's like a glide slope. But we are making our way along. You'll see we're exiting the GIL VOR, and then let's see, where's Denver? The Denver VOR, if I can find it. We'll do the Mile High VOR instead. Oh boy. So the Mile High VOR is 114.7. So we're gonna, I'll just go over here and go 114.7. Switch that to active. You'll see it popped to 2 and popped over. And then let's say you didn't care about radials and you just wanted to navigate, just full navigation, straight VOR to VOR. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna do this, turn it until it says 2, which ours is from, so now it's 2, and you want the line to be in the center. So now it's going to be about south. So what that's saying is if we go straight south right now, which I'm going to, and I just keep on that heading, I will reach the Denver VOR. This is not gonna change really based on where you are. So when you're like right up next to the VOR, yes, it will start to move a little bit to tell you if you're left or right. But this far out, I am let's just say, let me click that. Click on Denver. Click, okay, never mind. Click Denver. If I pop open and I hit add to route, I am roughly, it'll tell me an estimated time of arrival here in a second. Is it gonna like do it? KDen. Where's my current? Can you not do like current position? That's dumb. Let me just pause really quick. The gill. We'll do gill. Oh, shit. Stop that. Okay. Now you can see we're roughly 20 minutes away from the gill VOR, or from KDen, which I actually don't want to go to KDen. I want to go to Mile High, which is DVV. So let's say we wanted to do that. So DVV. You can see up down here, that's a long way to go, but we're roughly 19 minutes away. Let me see if I can see any other VORs. Okay, so we are now gonna set this to center, which it's in there. Okay, so now we want to go almost 210, about where we are now. Still not gonna get us there, so we have to do a constant adjustment. I'm gonna go a little bit left of it. I would say radials are easier than this because it's either our heading indicator is off, which could be true. Yes. Okay, so because of geoscopic precession, our heading indicator came off. So if you look at ForeFlight, it'll tell us that our heading is, our track is 200 exactly, which is more in line with what we have. Okay, so 200, 201. Okay, so now let's get on course. So which obviously Denver's like right in front of us, but let's say you couldn't see, so it's a little bit, there we go, we're like right on it. Boom, there you go. So that's another point, is geoscopic precession causes drifting on your instrument, so you have to constantly set it. Let me look. I think there's a way you can bind a key, because if there is, that's great. Sync, flight director pitch sync, synchronize flight director, no. Let's try our heading. Increment heading indicator, set heading indicator drift angle, nope. Select heading bug. Set, there we go, set heading indicator. So I want to put this on this button. Let's validate it. Let's try it, right? So this will either screw with us a lot or boom, there you go. Why is our airspeed? Why? Why does it sound like our RPMs are rolling back? Because they are. Is my fuel quantity too low? Let's add some more gas. Guess I can. There we go. I forgot. So you need to lean at altitude, lean your fuel, or lean your mixture. So we're pretty much right on the VOR. I'm gonna sync it just in case. So you'll notice on ForeFlight, if I go in, you'll notice we're pretty much right on the marker. There we go. We're about to pass over the VOR. Also, my COM 1 just turned off. I don't know why. Did I have a failure? What? Okay, so that's dead. What was the VOR? 114.7? Okay. Then it picks it up. We'll see we're now going from on the bottom here. We're passing it, and now we're behind it. For some reason I have a failure. My COM 1 failed. I don't know why. Try the alternator off, alternator on. Nope. Turn it back on. Weird. So I don't know why that failed. That's odd. But you'll notice that now it says to, not from. I don't know why. Oh, it's because this isn't set. So if I set this to, let's go to the same heading, to 2.1, you'll see it says from, not to. So the beacon is behind us, and that is how you navigate radials and VOR beacons. Personally, it's really easy to do the VOR beacon, just VOR to VOR. I would say if you don't want to mess with radials and math and like all that crazy stuff, super easy to go VOR to VOR. I didn't have ForeFlight or a GPS when I learned it in one of my classes today.
500.
We just had, and I just did VOR to VOR, super simple. But when you do radials, it gets a little bit more complex, but it's not too bad. And then, fun fact, this hangar that we're about to fly over is the United Airlines hangar at Denver International Airport. And then over this way, which it probably won't be on here because it's still being built, there's another hangar, and that is for Southwest Airlines. Not those oil, or not those fuel stops. You can kind of see something over here, but yeah, in real life there's a Southwest hangar being built over here. But that's it for VORs and radials. It's pretty simple when you practice it. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.